Welcome back. I'm joined by Brian Heat,
Yes.
transformational speaker.
That's right.
And author with Compete, Win, Dominate, Athletic Power Talks. I am so excited to have you on today.
I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, so I have to first know, we're just going to get to know each other a little bit.
Right.
What prompted you to do what you do on a daily basis?
Well, I have to give it to my mom. My mom is an educator, 30 years, 40 years in the business. When she was young, she ran a program that was for first generation college-bound students. And so these are students that this is the first time in their families they're going to college. And they don't have that advice from home. So my mom and her staff would enter into their lives, raise their self-belief, give them some vision, and give them all the wraparound services. And I'm just a little kid growing up in this entire journey of hers. And I'm watching how these people gravitate to her. And I'll tell you a really quick story. She retired a couple years ago. And when she retired, I said, Mom, I want to do something for you. And she said, what? I said, well, I want you to be celebrated because I know I wouldn't be the man I am without you. Let's go on Facebook really quickly. I know you don't do social media, Mom. Can I put your picture up? And I want to try something. She said, sure. She fixed her hair. I took a picture of her, put it on social media. I said, if anyone has ever met Lynn Hamlin, has ever had their lives impacted by her in any capacity, she just retired. Send her some love. 20 minutes, 1,500 comments.
What?
20 minutes, 1,500 comments.
Oh
right?
my goodness.
Now, what's crazy is I said, Mom, this is why I am the man that I am because you led the way. That's what drew me in to start working with young people.
Let's talk about some of those core principles that
Yes.
you talk to audiences about, and then walk me through the story a little bit about how you got started. Obviously, you were motivated by your mother,
Yes.
but how did you break into the business? And then what are those core foundational things that you always gravitate to?
So I broke into the business again. I became an educator in 1998, and I've been in education for about 25 to 26 years. I've been a principal, vice principal, dean of students. But in 2009, I got super excited because I had the opportunity to build a completion program at a college level. Basically meaning that we saw a lot of young men that were going to college, but they weren't finishing. So I came in and built a men's retention program for college males. And in about 16 years, we had about 10,000 guys go through the program. The program was doing so well that in 2019, they gave me a $3.7 million grant to grow the program even further. You're talking about at least maybe 30% of those guys were athletes. So that I began, as I was growing my motivational and transformational speaking business, I began to be able to do it on the educational side with those student athletes and traditional college students. I fell in love with becoming a trajectory shifter in the lives of these young people, right? And I noticed the coaches were doing X's and O's where their brilliance was, but no one was doing character development, life skills, emotional resilience. This is what it takes for them to receive the coaching and really do something with it on the field and off the field.
You've had a lot of experience, obviously, for 25 plus years, and you've seen the change in development
Yes.
of athletes.
Yes.
What changes have you seen, good and bad, in terms of maybe some of the pressures that they feel right now?
Right. I think the pressures are even more because of social media, right? I think the pressures are even more also because of NIL. You do have a sense of entitlement. Sometimes I'm hearing from coaches that these guys come in not looking for championships. I tell that when I was working with the Miami Dolphins, I said, do you want to be a champion or do you want to be popular? Which one is it? Because there's two different approaches. So I think that's the biggest pressure is, some of these athletes, not all of them come from disenfranchised backgrounds. And so the goal is you're going to save your family financially. But I understand that and I appreciate that. But if you don't keep the main thing, then you're not going to get to the sizable income with the pro level that's really going to be able to change your family completely. So making sure these athletes have a long-term vision, not a short-term chasing money.
You mentioned that you work with the Miami Dolphins. You'll
Yes.
be working with the rookie camps
Yes.
and a lot of those. I mean, you've seen it all from high school all the way to the NFL.
Yes.
I'm just curious, do you see a difference with the elite players that are on the field? Are they doing something different than others that are just basically surviving through some of these college years?
And it's interesting. That's why the name of the platform is Compete, Win, Dominate. There's always another level. There's one thing to compete. That's level one. Another level is to win. But now we're dominating. I say all three levels are important, but don't get stuck at the first two. You want to become a change maker, one of those generational talents. Does that make sense? Because now you're playing for legacy. Now you're playing for team impact and leadership. Does that make sense? And this is where all the doors begin to open. Now you said, what are they doing differently? It's a mindset. Everything is self-belief. It's a mindset. How do you handle adversity? Because in athletics, there could be injuries, there could be things distracting you outside that are family related that can really knock you down. Can you pull yourself together and stay committed to a routine, stay committed to a discipline? And I also tell guys, you only attract into your life what you believe you're worthy of possessing. So do you have the level of self-belief to cut out the distractions? Get away from the vices, get away from the things that normally will pull a college student off and stay locked in. That's an example of self-belief. I believe in myself so much, I'm now going to start attracting all the opportunities, all the coaching, all the mentorship, because I believe I'm worth it.
Wow, I love that. I'm ready to run through a wall right now. I'm ready to go.
Right.
Okay, so when you think about some of these student athletes in college,
yes.
How much have you been able to tap into that audience as well? And maybe what message would you have for someone that's watching this, maybe administrators who are watching this? A lot
right.
of the people that I interview are in the college athletics world.
Right.
I mean, can they tap into some of the things that you do?
Oh, absolutely. And again, I think it's in this modern day athletic space of college sports, again, the coaches have they're up to here with X's and O's and recruiting and scheming and just making sure on the football field, basketball field, whatever it is they're doing, they're working on the actual game. Who's working on the mindset of the players? Who's making sure their self-esteem is in the right place, that they're coachable, how they communicate, how they lead? Teams like vocal leaders. They want someone out there. They're not the only one getting calls from the sideline, but they're doing, hey man, move over here, move over here. I'm going to feel, we say this, I call myself the coach's greatest ally, the athletic director's greatest ally, because while you guys are showing your brilliance for X's and O's, let me do the mindset. Let me make sure that their minds are ready, that when you coach them, it's falling on fertile soil.
What has been some of the reaction that you've had from some examples of
right.
Former athletes that have come through your program?
Right. So I'll give you the quick example. So normally when I come in last year, I think it was for the Miami Dolphins, if people don't know this, when you first get recruited into the NFL, that doesn't necessarily you made the team,
no,
right?
Not at all.
And so, when I first came in, I think my first class was about 22 guys. And ultimately, I think, my guy, Alex Martin, shout out to Alex over there with the Dolphins. I think they were used to cutting them down to about 8 out of the 22. I think last year he kept 15, if my numbers are correct. And he said he obviously, other things played a factor, but I think the fact that you spoke to them, you got some of those rookies ready, so much ready, that we didn't cut them, that we wanted to keep them on the team. And that's something I'm super proud of, because these are life-changing opportunities for these rookies. But I know when I walked in the room, I even saw poor body language in some of them. And again, you've made it.
Right.
Don't take the time now to have a sense of entitlement to say, oh, I'm already here, I can fall back. I can fall back on my laurels. So my goal was, as soon as I walked in the room, let's stand up, let's get to it. Are you going to be the one to take advantage of this opportunity? Are you going to be the one to change your family tree? Are you going to be the one to lift that championship trophy? Because the time is now. Do not take this opportunity for granted.
I noticed that you are an author of multiple books.
Yes.
So let's start with the very beginning there.
Okay.
Writing a book.
Yes.
I want to write a book one day.
That's right.
Was it daunting a little bit to get started with that, or was it just I am ready to go because I've kind of thought through this for a while?
I'll be honest with you. All of the books, I'm not going to say they happened by accident, but it was one of those. A couple things just started coming into my path that people said, we want to hear your opinion on this, we want to hear your opinion on that. And again, I keep going back to the phrase trajectory shifter. I believe that I'm following my purpose. My purpose is to impact lives, young people in particular, right? And so for me, that's how those books and the different titles came about. At that season, someone wanted me, or the universe wanted me to speak to this specific theme, and I just took a chance and stepped out on faith.
All right, so some of the key points from your books, let's promote them a little bit.
I know, that's right. So the biggest one I would say for this audience, for the college sports, is a book called Get Ignited. And Get Ignited talks about how to manifest your dreams. And let me give you an example of manifestation. A couple years ago, the #1 draft pick for the NFL, he was a lineman, I do believe, and when they called his name as a #1 draft pick, he opened up his blazer, and inside his blazer was hand-stitched every affirmation that he had ever said about him in his career. I was blown away, He was just, because you don't think about athletes really tapping into this. And again, it wasn't things that were written in pen, it was stitched into this we're talking about manifestation, right? So that whole book is about, can you see physically, like even this interview, I thought about it before I got here. I envisioned you before I got here. The cameras, I saw myself in the space. So when I stepped into it, it became an instant reality.
That
right?
is the difference with things, is seeing yourself succeed.
That's right.
My husband's a college football coach.
There you go.
He said it's the visualization.
That's right. That's right.
Why is that so powerful?
Because if you can visualize yourself in the moment, when the moment happens, it's not overwhelming. It's almost like when you hear these like even now we have the NBA Finals. You'll hear the guys say, well, they got caught in the moment. They weren't ready for the moment. They weren't ready for the spotlight. But if you can envision yourself in the spotlight, if you can envision yourself missing a tackle, but the very next play, you're so emotionally mature, you shake that off and you make the game-winning tackle, but it's already went through, right? Does that make sense? But now, I always say this, you have to emotionally feel it. You have to feel like it already happened. You have to see it clearly, and then you want to match that vision in your physical preparation. Because you can see it all you want, but if you're not in the locker room, if you're not eating correctly, if you're not getting the adequate rest, if you're not studying game film, it doesn't matter what you visualize because you simply weren't prepared.
Why do you do what you do?
I think this is what I was born to do. I mean, point blank, Pierre, I'm pretty sure you would say the same thing for your film industry and even your husband coaching. I don't think we could do anything else. I think if you said, hey, honey, I want you to stop coaching, he's going to give you a funny look, right? And so again, I teach people, man, that whether sports is your lifelong career or it's something to help you pay for college or you end up overseas, give your everything to your everything and then watch the world around you transform.
Do you ever look back and think, okay, I started out in education and now next month I'm going to be in Miami working with an NFL team?
Right.
Does it surprise you at all ever, like what you've accomplished in life?
It does, and I call it, what's the word, surreal?
Yeah.
Right, so you walk in, so last year I had my son, my fiance with me when we went to the Dolphins facility. It's a beautiful facility in Miami Gardens, and just walking in, it was almost overwhelming, right? But I know who I've impacted. I know what I have. I know my heart is here. It's not a money grab. There's nothing about it for me that is money driven. It's more, I know those things will be taken care of if I keep the main thing the main thing. When I walked in the room to talk to those rookies, what was crazy is, although they are professional athletes, they look just like my students. Yeah. And they're almost the same age, minus a year or two. And so my nervousness immediately went away. Oh, Brian, you've done this before. And Alex said, Brian, now we want you back every single year until almost the entire locker room has seen you when they came in as a rookie. So it's surreal, but I know I'm prepared for the moment, and I believe in myself.
What's the most rewarding part of what you do?
One is meeting cool people like yourself, right? Yeah. When you kind of step out on faith and start making these things happen, you meet some amazing dream chasers along the way. But I have to say, it just keeps going back to being a trajectory shifter. I'm an educator by trade. We are professional givers. We get something out of walking in someone's life, short-term or long-term, and them being different, them being better on the back end. That is my true fulfillment. And then seeing just how far I can take it, from book writing to the things I'm doing with the Dolphins, keeping our fingers crossed. We also may be doing some work with the Washington Youth Development Program. So there's so many possibilities where I can do the thing I was born to do and help other people's vision at the same time.
Currently, we are meeting up at NACTA 2025 in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
So what do you think you could offer the college athletic director space, maybe with their administrators or with some of their coaches?
So one thing what's also cool I didn't speak to is, because I've been an educator so long, I developed a platform called Are You the Unforgettable Educator? Well, I travel across the country training educators, training superintendents, but the mindset behind Are You the Unforgettable Educator obviously transitions into Are You the Unforgettable Coach? The passion you bring to the table, your relatability, your knowledge of the game, how you care about the students, how you care about their families, how you care about their life after football, basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever it is. I can help in that space if those opportunities present themselves. But the bigger piece for me is also, again, working with the student athlete, working with their emotional maturity, working with their coachability, working with their effective decision making, how they select who they keep around them. A lot of these athletes will not distance themselves from sometimes toxic environments, toxic friends, toxic scenarios, and it ends up self-sabotaging what that person was trying to accomplish. So my goal is coaches, athletic directors, X's and O's. Do all the brilliant things you're doing. Bring my team in to help you in terms of potentially training your staff on how to bring their greatest why to the table, or how to help your student athlete become a more effective student athlete.
Wow, well stated. Last question for you. How
Yes.
can someone get connected to you?
Awesome. Well, I know, talking to people here since I've been at NACTA, LinkedIn is a great opportunity for me. So it's Brian Heat worldwide at LinkedIn. You can also reach me at my website at brianheat.com. And I'm also at Instagram at Brian Heat.
What a joy to get to visit with you today. Thank
That's
you
right.
so much for your time.
Thank you.